Okay, friends, as promised, I want to introduce you to my main man and an ambassador of Fargo and all things goodness in our community, Mr. Greg Tehven. Good morning, Greg.
Hey, thanks for having me, Hatch.
You bet, man. Greg, we've been connected for a while, and I've seen you do some fascinating things in town, and yet I don't know how to describe what you do. So when you meet somebody, what is it that you say that you do for Fargo and for a job? Because I don't get it.
Yeah, it depends on if they're trying to sell me something. I'm certainly telling them I'm a circus clown. But if it's somebody that I want to, spend the time with and explain, I work at Emerging Prairie. We exist to connect and celebrate our entrepreneurial ecosystem. We host events, have a co-working space, do a lot of national speaking engagements, talking about community.
Right. And you've been an ambassador of this community since moment one, right? I mean, you're born and raised as a West Fargo and Fargo guy. What did that look like for you?
Well, I was really fortunate. I grew up in a rural community near Harwood, Riley's Acres, Prosper, and I got the benefit.
Which is crazy because you don't come across as a farm kid to me.
Yeah, well, if you ask my family, they will agree with you. I was more interested in, eating ice cream and playing cards with grandma or having backyard baseball games. But what I grew up with was true community. It wasn't volunteerism. It wasn't service. It was being a good neighbor. And so I think one of the greatest things my parents taught me was to be involved, to be supportive. Mm-hmm. Don't wait for someone to ask for help. You just help. You see a need, you help solve a problem. And I'm really grateful for that.
Awesome to think of that word. And I didn't pick up on it as we've talked in the past about how it's not volunteering, it's just community, and it's a different way to show up. So I appreciate that articulation and explanation. Greg, what does your life look like? Because you now have had massive impact on things. Allow me to walk our listeners through the life of Greg Tehven because it's fascinating to me, and I'm going to leave a lot of great things out. But you went to school down at the University of Minnesota, and you were at the business school there, right? You started a movement called STLF while you were in college, Students Today, Leaders Forever. And the purpose of it was to hijack spring break trips. And instead of going down to Cancun to drink away your life, you instead had people volunteering throughout the United States on bus trips, high school students, college students, and it was a movement of goodness. You then came back to Fargo along with venturing through some other places, and sure enough, you started Fill the Dome. You and some great local students started a movement that now has collected millions and millions of pounds of donations for our community. You have started 1 million cups here locally. You're a part of the major drone movement that's happening here. In fact, the Red River Valley is proving to be the drone capital of North America right now. You have started Emerging Prairie, the co-working space downtown. You're 33 years old. You married out of your league. Your wife runs an incredible flower shop. And you have been a seed and you have been a catalyst in so many people's lives, right? What am I missing here?
Yeah, I think what you're missing is that I've always done it with people. All those projects you just described, I've been one of a team, and I think that's the difference. One of the things we're working on at our organization is if we want to go fast, let's go alone, but if we want to go far, we have to go together. What you just described in my backstory is a bunch of collaboration efforts where so many folks have worked and contributed to making our community a place we all want to live.
One of the things that I didn't talk about is that you started a movement called TEDx, not on the national and global scale, but you started it locally. And if you don't know what TED is, Greg, TED is not a person, right? TED is something else. It stands for what?
Technology, Entertainment, and Design. In the 80s, a group of very kind of high net worth folks gathered to discuss ideas, more of a privileged model. And so that company started in the 80s. In the 90s, it was sold to a British journalist, and it became a nonprofit. And then in the 2000s, the platform TED, which has a global brand, gave it away for free for independent organizers. So folks like myself, folks like you who've been involved with TEDx NDSU, they gave it to us for free, and they said, hey, use our brand, but bring ideas into your community. So since 2012, we've been building TEDx Fargo. Started with 100 folks in a room. We had 4 speakers. It was really fun. We had Carl Peterson from Peterson Farm Seed talking about the future of agriculture. Dr. Sue Matheson talking about beauty and care. Michael Strand from NDSU talking about the power a cup has to change a community. And
a cup.
Yeah, a cup. So like there was this idea of a cup project where if we exchange cups, what do we drink in the morning, whether it's coffee, water, and what if that cup helped tell your story and it told mine and we exchanged that. And then now Governor Burgum gave a talk on curiosity. And in that first event, 100 folks gathered. We got so excited. We did another one. We sold out in 9 minutes. And so then we did a third one. And now it's just really scaled. And on Thursday, we're going to have well over 2,000 folks at TEDx Fargo. TEDx Fargo is definitely one of the largest TEDx events in the United States. And it's known around the world as an event built for our city. So the volunteers, the team, the advisory board, it's committed to loving our community.
If you, Greg, you go a mile a minute, and I mean that as a compliment because you do that literally and figuratively. Your mind, your brain, your passion doesn't stop. Here's the fascinating thing is you just undersold, I think, the best event Fargo does year after year. TEDx Fargo, if you haven't attended, this will be my 6th time attending, and it's held at the Civic Center. It's this Thursday, and it is massively impressive. From the high quality delivery that comes from the technology and the design that happen when you step into that room, to the cup of coffee you get at every corner, to the donuts and the wonderful local treats. If you're gluten-free, vegan-free, is vegan-free? I think I'm vegan-free. I eat everything that isn't vegan. But you have created a space for everyone. I think that TED in its purest form is a spa for the brain and a spa for the mind. I think I'm stealing your term there. It is one of those days where if you attend, what happens is you're going to get hit between the eyes with stuff you didn't even intend on paying attention to. The talk in which you're going to check your phone and go to the bathroom is probably going to be the thing that's going to revolutionize some of your thinking over the next 24 months. So, Greg, what can people expect from the speakers on the docket this year?
So we've got 24 speakers this year, and the way we begin our curation process is to look at challenges in the community, and then we source folks with solutions for them. So, for example, education is a hot topic. Social media is a big buzzword. So we found one of the top educators out of Hawaii that is engaging young people to become social media experts in their community in a very low-income area in Hawaii. So she's going to give a talk on that potential. We've got Rich Karlgaard, the publisher of Forbes, who's from Bismarck, North Dakota. He's going to give a talk on late bloomers. All the science suggests that in your 50s and 60s is when you're at peak potential, earning potential, ability to solve problems. He's going to give a talk on how, hey, get excited. The best is yet to come for young people, and if you're in that age range, get going. It's time. The Lamoureux sisters, who just won gold medals in the Olympics, they're going to give a talk on gender equality, and it's going to be a heavy-hitting talk. And so it's a wide variety of talks from corporate executives such as the president of Microsoft to Rachel, who is a performer out of Texas State University, who will definitely end up on Broadway. It is a wide variety of talks. A couple things that most folks don't understand about our speakers is that we put resources behind them. So we put a tremendous amount of time supporting the development of their talks, and we ask them to give the talk of their life.
Yeah.
Mary Ann is originally from Fergus Falls. She's been living in New Hampshire for a long time. She's done incredible work. We convinced her to come back. Her board of the Hannah Grimes Center gave her 1 month sabbatical to prepare for her talk. These talks matter. There are speaker after speaker that have had their talk launch their career. Kayla Delzer, an elementary school teacher, gave a talk a couple years ago. It has several 100,000 views. She was front page of the New York Times in September this year talking about the impact she's having in the classroom. These talks are influencing our community, but they're having a global impact.
And it's here in Fargo. This is a highly special place. Greg preaches it, and he lives and breathes it, and it's going to be proven time and time again, especially this Thursday. So if people want tickets, it's tedxfargo.com. They can buy tickets at the door, but please don't do that to an organizer because it makes them crazy. So just please go online and buy tickets in advance. Greg, thank you for what you do for the community. I'm going to be there. You're going to be there. Hopefully the rest of you are going to attend. And even if you can't, all these videos live for free online. And so just Google TEDx Fargo, and you'll find all these great speakers. It just takes a couple of months for the videos to get up.
And last plug, Hatch, if anybody on the listing knows somebody that's a sponsor, a volunteer, a contributor, just say thank you. Our team is built around this event. The philosophy is to write a love letter to our community.
Yeah.
So it's amazing products, it's amazing care, it's amazing performances, but it takes a lot of work. So as somebody that gets a lot of recognition for the collective, if anybody out there knows a volunteer, a sponsor, a contributor, a speaker, a friend, just say thank you. These folks work their tails off to make a big impact locally, but we have people flying in from Philadelphia, Atlanta, California to attend. Hawaii, people are flying in from Hawaii to attend. This is a massive project, and it only happens because the love and care of folks in our community that truly give it their best.
Yes, sir. Greg, thanks so very much.
All right, thanks, guys.
Folks, we'll see you at TEDx Fargo on Thursday. In the meantime, head to livefargomoorhead.com to find out what your home is worth. This is Real Estate Radio with Erik Hatch.